There he goes. And this was, yeah, the year 2000, and it says visual butter, which that's a very nice description of Brian Bielmann. He produces visual butter, and he's a good-looking guy. He is a visually buttery human. So, Brian, this is a small portion of Brian Bielmann's work. So, look, it's a stack. You could literally make a bed out of Brian Bielmann covers and take a nap. Thanks, Brian. See? Comfy.
Yeah, my name's Brian Bielmann. I live on the North Shore of Oahu, and I've been taking pictures for a really long time. Probably, I think I started in 1978. I originally grew up on the East Coast, graduated high school, 200 bucks in my pocket, drove cross country with a couple friends, Hot Wheels and Mo Daddy. Made it to Hawaii in 1975. The first morning I woke up, I saw the palm trees and blue water, and I knew I was never going home.
Bielmann is just, he's a legend. He's one of the most iconic surf photographers there has ever been.
He's very creative. He shoots water, he shoots land. He covers everything that is the North Shore, and when we send him on trips, he covers everything that is that trip. He can cover the personalities, he can cover the landscapes, he can cover whatever, and he can do it in a reliable way.
Yeah, definitely when I first started taking pictures, it was all about being able to keep surfing. I just thought I was the smartest guy in the world because I found a way to keep surfing when all my other friends had to go to work. It started out just that, and slowly the art part of it that I was interested in came out. You know, slowly I started seeing things I wanted to create, seeing boundaries I wanted to push, ways I wanted to do things differently that had been done before. I didn't realize I was becoming more artistic, but that's what was going on. And it just went from a love of surfing to a love of photography, or a love of surf photography.
Our first cover that Brian Bielmann shot was our fourth issue. So it took Brian 4 issues to get a cover.
Oh, this is pretty boring, man. So the swell's pretty much dropped quite a bit since yesterday, and could surprise us though, you know, it comes in pulses. So I'm down here, long angle, looking in back door, trying to get a water angle without getting wet. Keep my fingers crossed that it's gonna send a bomb through for us. But it's a waiting game right now. Kind of want to go record shopping. The rest of the world comes to the Pipe Masters. I want to go record shopping. How much are you selling this one for?
$19.99.
Hey, I'll show you something interesting. John Fogerty Centerfield, that was his comeback album after he'd been away for so long after the Creedence Clearwater. And I was a photographer's assistant at the time, and I actually worked on this job. I was the guy holding the reflector on the side of John. I was there, man. I was there. I don't know why music's such a big part of my life, but it is. It's like I can't not listen to music when I'm working in my office, when I'm shooting. It's crazy. It's like, you know, it's something that's just ingrained in me. Without my music, I'd go nuts. And the record collecting part of it, I don't know what it is. You know, I had CDs after they came out, but it's just not the same. There's something about that vinyl and holding it and putting it on the turntable and picking up that needle and dropping it down. It's just, maybe it reminds me because when I was a kid or something, but you know, just opening the album cover and seeing the artwork, it's just such a beautiful thing.
Record shopping with Brian's fun because he's a computer of music knowledge. He's like, you ever heard of? And I'm like, no. So he's a dictionary of music.
You ask Brian about music, and his face lights up. You know, he's probably more proud of his record collection than he is of any of his photos.
Each one of my photographs I actually name after a song, you know. Patti Smith, Dream of Life. you know, Jimi Hendrix, Axis, Bold as Love. All these are titles of my songs. So it's just an extension. I can't explain it, but the music is connected to the photography, and it's not complete until it's got some sort of identity. I was this close to the record store waiting for everybody else, and I just started thinking about the ones I didn't get. It's the opposite of buyer's remorse. It's not buyer's remorse.
15 seconds.
I mean, like my shot there was no creativity at all. It just happened to be a freak of nature.
What shot of yours got second?
The Nathan Fletcher at Chopu.
Yeah, that's incredible, that photo.
Yeah, so that was just, you know, just being lucky and being in the right place.
Right place, right time, but I mean, in saying that, to your testament, there was probably 100 other photographers sitting side by side in various boats and didn't get that exact moment.
Yeah. And even the guys on our boat,
did what you did with it.
Even the guys on our boat shot it too tight.
Yeah.
That was definitely not the shot to go tight on.
No, I agree.
Because the whitewater in the back was what it was all about.
We saw photos coming in from that session, and you know, everyone was crazy, but Brian's image just, it's like I said, it'll go down in history as one of the greatest surf photos, one of the greatest photos that I've ever seen, you know, and I think that will be a benchmark for, you know, surf photography for years to come, no doubt.
The photo of Nathan Fletcher at Chopu is probably one of the heaviest photos I've ever seen. You know, I mean, I've shot a lot of big waves, but that thing is like retarded, crazy, psycho, massive, spooky.
It just didn't look real. I couldn't even believe it was real, but I remember at that moment, the first thing I thought of was, oh God, please tell me this is in focus. So the whole rest of the time out there shooting, all I kept thinking about was that wave, and I couldn't wait to get back to see it. And when I got back to my room, I literally got on my hands and my knees as I turned on my computer and said a prayer to God, please have this one be in focus. And sure enough, when I got to that photograph, absolutely sharp focus, perfect timing, and I looked at that photograph and realized at that moment, this is the best photograph I've ever taken in my life.
He was just so happy and so thankful, but he sent it to my mom and dad a week, because he's good friends with them. Sent it to them a week, or maybe a couple days before he ever sent it to me. And when I saw it, I was just like, wow, and I was just, you know, I still can't believe it. It's like, I'm so thankful, and I'm so stoked that it was Brian.
When he got that shot of Nathan in the biggest, meanest, ugliest tube in the world, blasting through the foam ball, that nobody's ever seen anything like that, and it just blew my mind. I think it blew everybody's mind.
And then it hit me, what am I gonna do? I've just taken the best photograph of my life, it's all downhill from here. So there was that excitement, but then that sort of like, is this the end now? I can't do better than this. So that's kind of the whole feeling I had that day, was just best shot of my life, where's my career going now? But in the long run, you know, I'm just glad I got it. I'm just glad I got a photograph that I can call the best shot of my life.
It made me shit my pants when I saw it. It was that good. It's scary. Thanks, Brian. You made me shit my pants.
Get out of here.
That was pretty friggin' mean, yeah. That's so embarrassing. Like, and it's like you get them back and you're like, God, there's not even one good shot in there.
I think what it is that makes him so amazing is his personality and likability when it comes to traveling with other surfers. Because, I mean, there's not a dull moment with Bielmann.
And he's charming. You know, he'll disarm you with his charm and wit, however you guys want to take that. And as a photographer, you got to travel the world, and you're real in tight quarters with everyone. And if you're not comfortable, I've seen it go bad with other ones, real bad. But I've never seen it go bad with him, ever. From Indo, Europe, Tahiti, Fiji, wherever. You know, it's always been a good one.
He's a character. He's like one of the coolest photographers I've ever met. We all were doing karaoke, and it's like, I've known the guy for what, a day or two? And he just gets up on stage and just starts rocking out, and then I was just like, that's when I knew I really liked this guy. He was the coolest guy ever, singing Freebird with Tori, and he wanted to stay up on stage and jam and rock out to the the big solo, but they cut him off. But that's when I was like, this guy is the man.
Smile, pass it on. There is a company called Sanuk in the surfing industry, and they have this great logo, Smile, Pass It On. And they had this brilliant idea to team up with Operation Smile, who does just that. They pass on smiles. They're a team of doctors and nurses and other volunteers who travel around the world and give their time, and they donate their time and their skills to helping kids with cleft palate deformities. So we literally went to Peru and just, followed the whole routine from beginning to end of the kids and what they had to go through to get this operation, how far they'd had to come to the hospital, some of the kids that weren't able to do it for whatever reasons. There was so many heartbreaking moments involved in this, but there was just so many wonderful moments by the end of it, by seeing how many lives were going to be changed by this simple operation. And I think Sanuk, I mean, gosh, just to really do something that's actually helping people with photography, what a fantastic feeling. I mean, taking pretty pictures and brightening people's day and showing them the greatest swells ever, that's one thing, but to actually go in there and do something that's going to change lives because of the attention that we brought to this was just a magical moment for all of us. It's weird, man. It's like really hard for me after all these years just keep my motivation about shooting the North Shore anymore. Just so many people shooting and just, it's like I've been there, done that. Dude, if I could make a living only shooting underwater, that's all I would do. Because I come back in stoked, My underwater photography, that's one of the things that's kept me really excited about what I do. You shoot surf photography for a long time and I love it, but the underwater stuff is something close to my heart that I just absolutely love doing, and it's one of the places I think out of all my photography that I've really broken a lot of boundaries.
I've seen a lot of his underwater stuff, and I like how he goes. I think a lot of Tahiti stuff where he's capturing the vortex and really getting creative and trying to capture some art of waves and stuff. And I mean, it's who I went to for help. So I mean, obviously I thought something, that he's a great, waterman and photographer.
There's still so many things that I want to do with it that it's just something that probably will keep me motivated in photography for a long, long time. So I plan on continuing to stretch the boundaries and do even more with that. Some of my most fulfilling moments, creative moments, are those times when I just have this idea that pops into my head and I just decide to do it that way. Just a different angle, take a chance. And my whole career was based on getting unique angles and shooting things that nobody else was shooting, and I think that I have to wake myself up again and just go back to that original way of doing things. This last year has been such a great year for me. I've done some of the biggest ad campaigns of my life. Dream jobs, and I've had so many great advertising campaigns. Just everything was going fantastic, the peak of my career. And then the rug got pulled out from underneath me with Transworld going down. I was in shock, It was one of those moments of disbelief. Like, how could our magazine go down? We're killing it. It's just one of those things where you have to reevaluate your life. But the thing is I've gone through decades of reinventing myself, and that's what I told myself. I realized this is a big one. The main thing I'm learning, and it's hard to believe that I could still be learning after 35 years of photography, but nothing ever is going to stay the same. That's what I have to remember, and that's a good thing. I mean, I would have stayed in my job for the next 10 years and be satisfied, but I might not have pushed the limits enough. And I think that you can't be scared of change. Fear is the killer. That's the worst. Fear is good for nothing. So don't fear change, don't fear the future. And when things happen, God's closing some doors and opening some new ones. And it's worked that way my whole entire career. Something better has always happened once a door was closed behind me. So I think that's it. I think just keep moving ahead. Don't look back, keep moving ahead. It's going to be an exciting time ahead. Your future, my future.
Bye.